Because MS can affect any nerve in our central nervous system, there can be dozens of symptoms. But in today's video, I'm going to focus on the most common ones and some evidence-based ways of how we can help with them, because my channel is all about how we can live well with MS or chronic illness. This video does not include recommendations for medications because I'm not a doctor, but I do encourage you to work with your MS specialist or neurologist on medications that may be appropriate for you. I looked at Boston Brigham and Women's Hospital, the National MS Society, Harvard Health, and the Mayo Clinic for their lists of common MS symptoms. From these resources, I pulled a list of the most common ones. Let's start with fatigue. Fatigue is one of the most debilitating symptoms of MS, and it can have the biggest impact on our lives. It's also one of the leading reasons why people with MS cite for leaving the workforce. And more importantly, it can interfere with our fun and family time. Missing out on time with our besties or time with our families is not acceptable, right? The biggest thing that we can do to help with fatigue, in my opinion, is to eat a more plant-based diet. But it's not just my opinion, though. In the past few years, there have been a number of studies showing that eating a more plant-based diet can really help with our fatigue. These 3 studies all show eating a more plant-based diet can have a significant effect on our fatigue. It turns out our moms were right when they told us to eat our veggies. Next is trouble walking, balance problems, or unsteady gait. We can have problems getting our legs to move the way we want due to nerve damage. The signals are either not getting to the muscles in our legs or are slow to get there. This causes us to not have the jaunty or smooth walk that we desire. Luckily, we can encourage other nerves to help. Our brains have a lot of reserve, so there's a chance that we can rewire our brains with something called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity refers to the lifelong capacity of the brain to change and rewire itself in response to the stimulation of learning and experience. Working with a physical therapist can help us by doing specific exercises to encourage our brains to rewire. We can use learning and experience to help us teach different nerves to get those signals to our legs and improve our walking. There are several physical therapists online that I found that I like. Dr. Gretchen Hawley, the MS Gym, and MS Workouts, and I'll link them below so you can check them out. The next symptom is muscle weakness and spasticity. These can go along with walking difficulty, but they deserve their own shout out because they can impact so much more than just our walking. Any of our muscles can be affected. When our muscles are weak or spastic, it can interfere with all movements and also interfere with our sleep. And again, it's one of the most troubling symptoms of MS because it can really get in the way of daily life and our fun. One of my favorite recent studies on exercise training for MS said, "Scientific evidence and expert opinion suggest that exercise may be the single most effective non-pharmacological symptomatic treatment for multiple sclerosis." Exercising will help prevent or reverse weakness and reduce spasticity. Another great way to reduce spasticity is to stretch. There is a catch, though. We need to do it regularly. The benefits of stretching can be short-lived, so we need to keep doing it. I do the best when I stretch in the morning and in the evening. Do you stretch? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from my viewers. Not sure what stretches to do? And check with your health team for recommendations specific to the muscles that are most affected for you. Or you can find a lot of great suggestions on YouTube. Search for stretching to reduce MS spasticity. Before we continue, could I ask for your support for the channel? It would really help out if you could share the channel, share the videos, and like and subscribe. Thanks so much. Next is numbness and tingling. Sensory issues with MS are really common. It's one of my permanent reminders that I have MS. I have sensation loss on the left, and it varies in intensity, but it's always there. My left hand is not a very good typist anymore, and it tends to drop things on the regular. My left foot has difficulty putting on shoes, And sometimes I don't feel it when I'm stepping on something or if I'm misstepping. According to this article from MS Focus magazine, some of the things we can do to help are massage, intermittent application of heat or cold, and stretching. We can try running cold water over the affected area or using a heating pad or warm compresses. Stretching definitely helps me. My left thigh can feel like the skin is too tight, but if I stretch regularly, it doesn't bother me as much. Another thing that may help is to expose the affected area to different stimuli. We can try placing our hand or foot into a tub or a bag with uncooked rice or beans or even cotton balls. Repeatedly exposing the skin to stimuli may help with the numbness or tingling. Sometimes I walk barefoot on my treadmill because the tread has a texture to it and it helps. My sensation disturbances can also intensify with exercise as my body heats up. I use a cooling vest and I sip cold water while exercising to help with this. Do you experience any increase in symptoms when you exercise? Let me know in the comments below. Next is cognitive issues, problems focusing or remembering. This is another one that's near the top of the list for reasons why people with MS leave the workforce. And honestly, these symptoms are the ones that scare me the most. What if I stop being me? Who I am? What if I can't continue to work? Jean-Martin Charcot, who was a neurologist known as the father of MS and first established it in 1868, described cognitive issues as marked enfeeblement of memory with conceptions that are formed slowly. Not to worry, though. There are things that we can do to help with cognition. Good sleep. In a study released earlier this year, they found a connection between cognitive impairment and sleep problems. It's so important that we try to get good sleep. Exercise. Doing regular exercise will improve our cognition, and in this study from 2017, they found that high-intensity training was promising in improving verbal memory. Eating a healthy diet. Eating more fruits and vegetables high in polyphenols can prevent or reverse age-related cognitive deficits by lowering oxidative stress and inflammation. In this study, they said that there's a promising likelihood that we may improve our cognition throughout life and into the aging period with simple dietary interventions. How cool is that? We can also play brain games. There are different kinds of brain exercises we can do to improve different areas of cognition, such as verbal memory, attention, or executive functioning. In this study, they found that their exercise program significantly improved cognitive functioning. Nice! The next common symptom is bladder and bowel problems. Probably one of our least favorites. When the nerve signals get interrupted, we can have all kinds of issues from incontinence, both bladder and bowel, inability to empty our bladder or bowels that can lead to urinary tract infections or constipation, and no one wants to deal with these, but deal with them we must. While researching for this video, one of the studies I read said that some people with MS and their caregivers, there was some passive acceptance, like this was a normal part of having MS. No, it's not. And luckily, there are things that we can do every day to help. I'm going to start sounding like a broken record here. Diet. Eating a healthy diet that has a good amount and a good diversity of fiber can help a lot. Did you know that only 5% of the population meets the recommendations for fiber intake? And water. Drinking more water can help with both bowel and bladder problems. And exercise. Exercise helps to move things along and keeps our pelvic floor muscles in better shape for better control. And healthy bathroom habits, like going to the bathroom 20 to 30 minutes after eating to take advantage of our body's natural rhythms. The next common symptom of MS is pain. And this can be a big one and a diverse one. Pain can range from achy muscles to spastic and cramped muscles to intense and piercing nerve pain. It can be short-term or long-term pain. And there are some things that we can do to help manage the pain. The Cleveland Clinic recommends many lifestyle changes that we can make to help with pain, including exercise and meditation. Exercise will help keep our muscles toned and help us to remain flexible, both of which can help with pain. There's a lot of research on using meditation to help with the management of pain. I have a regular meditation practice that helps me to live well with my MS. Massages, stretching, and using electrical stimulation, such as a TENS unit, may help with pain as well. Do you do any of these things to help with pain? Let me know in the comments. Thanks so much for joining me today. As always, I will place links to all the articles, papers, and research I referenced in the description below. To see more on symptoms of MS, watch these videos next. Thanks for watching. To support the channel, please share the videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, be well.